Well, hey there, I'm KK Hart. I'm really excited to get to speak to you today as a sales and marketing expert that specializes in our industry. I believe I have education that will help you not only to improve your circumstance and hopefully add to your bottom line, but also to make you love the work that you're doing again, to invest and really see the benefits of your business, maybe for the first time or for the first time in a while. So just a little bit about me. I've owned and operated several businesses in this space, and one thing I've always known to be true is that the strong will survive. So whether you're coming off of one of your best years ever or really difficult couple of years, I believe that there is an opportunity for you to improve your business. And honestly, I would assert that much of the businesses that you admire, that you love to hate, and that you want to be more like and emulate, everything they do that's successful comes down to investing in their sales and marketing. So I'm here today to help you to figure out what's the path that's best for you and where do you invest? How do you measure return on investment? And how do you enjoy that extra money in your purse or pocketbook? Let's dive in. So for me, working with many business owners that are at every level of success in this industry, from entry level and looking to make a splash, all the way to tenured and looking to grow even after some really large market share gains, I believe there are three core areas that your business can focus in on and see returns, see actual success tangibly in your bottom line and in your new clients and existing client retention. Number one is to improve your existing operations. Now, this is difficult at times because we believe in our industry that because we're heart-centered and heart-leading, that we can't make adjustments along the way. And I want to dispel that myth for you. It's actually essential that you look at the business as a business, not just a hobby, not just your passion, so that you're able to make directional changes and structural changes that make sense, not only for the clients that are currently in the business now, but also the clients that can in the future come in and enjoy your services. Now, a great place to start here is whether or not you're managing virtual, in-person services, or some combination of the two. The thing about this is there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It depends on your market, depends on your goals, how much you're willing to invest, and frankly, where you're led to grow your community. So I've seen success and experienced success both in person and online and with the hybrid models. Many times my clients find that leading from the heart in this area actually leads to great success and returns in the financial area. So I would say step number one is to evaluate or reevaluate the method and mode that you offer your services and offerings. Number two is simple. We have to improve those. I'm a big believer in utilizing technology to help our businesses get better so that we can improve and enjoy our lives even more. Why can't both be true? So this could be one element of your restructuring or just looking at the business a little bit differently, is to understand how to find areas of opportunity to improve. Once you're willing to do that, I recommend you look at your current software, tools, anything that helps you to improve your current service delivery or digital offerings, and look within those frameworks, meaning look at the tools you currently have and the software you currently have. Are you paying for lots of it and not utilizing it? It's one of the areas of opportunity that I see most often, is that we are underutilizing and overpaying for software and tools. So looking at that with a fresh set of eyes helps you to determine what are the tools that are going to help me to be most successful for the now and for the future, and adjust accordingly. That means if you're looking at automating more of your systems, which I believe actually helps you not only to improve your profitability, but also to enhance the customer experience, this is something that you need to do now, focusing on aspects of the business that are currently maybe lacking in the area of communication, future trends and what we're seeing from the industry, and also maybe take a pulse of your clients, listen to their desires, listen to their stuck points and maybe where they'd like to patron you more. This is a great area for you to improve upon because honestly, using automation is always so much more cost effective than adding more staff. And it also helps you, I think, to right size the business, to have the right business at the right expense and executionary point so you can attract the right client, giving them the right experience and retaining them for even longer. So this is an easy area to optimize because it's software you already have, and it's just a matter of maybe scaling back or maybe adding on. Most times I see scaling back as the need, as in our industry, we kind of go heavy on software and tools, not really realizing what we're utilizing or what's providing us a true return on investment. So that's an area that you can at least look into. Next is a tough one. It's time to restructure the way we deliver services. If you're a class-based business, it may be that you're offering way too many classes to be profitable and successful in today's market. So I recommend you look at your class utilization rates, look at your capacity, understand the needs of your current target client, and looking at whether or not their goals are to take more classes at your studio, less classes, or something in between. One thing that's clearly shifted over the years is that clients are using in-studio time less, but they're leveraging it as a more important aspect of what they do for their health and wellness. So what this means is there's no longer this need for an unlimited client, for instance, to take 7 classes a week or 5 classes a week to see value. They'd rather take a couple really great classes and then mix it in with other things they do to focus on their health and wellness. And that's great news for you, by the way. That means you can have less classes on the schedule, focus on quality, not quantity, super important, and relieve some of your staff costs by doing so. This may not be popular, but I really do see that the best in our industry have the right value to client ratio so that they're offering exactly what the clients need, but not too much, while also understanding what clients are looking for from their classes, from their services, from the products they sell, and everything in between. So looking at your class utilization and making sure you have just the right amount of classes for the season that you're in, for the client base, and for the market that you stand for. 2, let's think about how we can utilize our teams differently. I think we're in a paradigm shift in our industry where we're going from a very person-centric to a very personalized business model. What does that mean? Well, from the perspective of being person-centric, meaning human-oriented, I do believe we can be just as personalized, if not better, by utilizing technology and robots and automation and artificial intelligence. So why not lean into that? It means that some of your communications, some of the things that you've always either didn't have the time to do or thought it had to be rooted in your tangible community, could now be offloaded to an online or a virtual-like experience. This means everything from your email communications, text messages, push notifications, use of your app. It's time to really embrace those new elements of what makes our businesses personal, unique, and connected. They all can cohabitate together. So I believe this is an area of your business that needs attention, and honestly, it needs your willingness to do something different. For so long, we either did nothing because we had this posture of, ain't nobody got time for that, for the basics of communication and being boutique. And yet our clients are desiring that more and more. In fact, it's the very reason they patron your studio and your business. So I think it's time to go to the other side, which is how do I make both automation and personalization work for my business and help my clientele? And I think once you have that posture of willingness, you're gonna see a wealth of opportunities open up for you to really dive into where does the business need to go? How do you deliver services and products and offerings? And what do your clients need from you to be a client for life? So once you've considered these operational areas of efficiency, it's honestly time to reconsider your pricing. I know, it's not a very popular area to think through, and it's not extremely exciting to redo, but here's the thing. When you are undervalued for your market and for your type of services, you are literally a hamster on a wheel. You're chasing the next client, but you're not getting enough return. On the other side, if you're offering a highly premium cost, but maybe your services and offerings aren't exactly value driven, you're finding that clients are interested, they're acquired, but they very quickly churn, right? They very quickly leave the business, or maybe they don't stay on after your trial. This is incredibly common on both sides. And I think the value-driven point is somewhere in the middle where you offer just the right services at just the right pricing for you to turn a profit. Yes, definitely always profit. And give the clients exceptional value for what they're looking for. So this is where reimagining your pricing may be the next step. It's very common that businesses price based on feelings instead of function, right? Instead of data and looking at your market, we often look around and think, this is what we should do, right? Based on our desires, based on our feelings, maybe based on struggles with money that you've had in the past. I'm totally understanding of all of those things. I'm just encouraging you to get out of your comfort zone and actually price your services based on their value. So that means you're gonna wanna bake your profit into your price. Start with how much it costs you to deliver your services, right? Your global monthly cost. Break that up into your class, your product, whatever services or offerings that you have format, and understand the cost to deliver each service or produce each product or anything in between. It's essential that you have a true understanding of the global cost, right? The entire cost to own and operate your studio. From there, you're able to determine, okay, here's what I need to survive. And then you look at the rest of the market and you decide, where do I want to thrive? So that you right-size the pricing for your business. Sometimes you're in a market where competitors have cheapened the landscape and you have a decision to make that helps you to discern, do I want to, be a part of the group, or do I want to break out of the pack and be incredibly different? Hey, here's a quick tip here on how to improve in this pricing area. Whether you need to go up or scale down in price, the major difference that I see, the best practice from working with so many businesses in our industry, is to be different. Differentiation is the area of success that I think we are often overlooking right now that is absolutely pivotal for you to be able to value your services, price them appropriately, and frankly, for you to bring in the profit that you desire for the hard work that you've put out there. Think about that. And as we're talking about profit, let's do just a little deep dive on what that is, right? A structural analysis of what profit is in your business. Profit is the final result of all the income and revenue that you have coming into the business each month or each year, minus the cost, the expenses to do so. This includes your fixed costs, like your rent. It also includes your variable costs, like your employees, and everything from your software and marketing and all those little aspects of the month to month and day to day. It's essential that you rightly understand the cost to run your business, because it really is the area in which that you can affect right now and make a difference financially, and to make a difference to help you be the business that you want to be and still stay boutique and community oriented. So when we think about one metric that's really easy to understand, profit is the one that I would recommend, the one that I would recommend you lean into, making sure that as a business owner, you're paying yourself first, then paying your staff and structuring your business accordingly, and then understanding what does it take to grow. So this is the area I think most business owners get wrong. You either don't understand the cost to grow in the environment that we're in, or you're somewhat resistant to certain elements of that. Meaning, listen, we're in a pay-to-play environment right now. It costs money to acquire new clients, and it's difficult because we have a very unique economic issue at hand. Our supply as an industry is quite high, right? There are classes and apps and services and offerings everywhere. But demand is not necessarily always matching up to the supply that we have. So I recommend that you think through the current supply and demand equation for your business. If you're in a position, like many of my clients, where things are great, supply is appropriate for the demand and vice versa, you're ready to rock. It's time to scale and determine what that is. But if you're determining that there's a little bit of an issue with demand in your market, given what you're willing to provide as supply, it's time to do some demand generating marketing. Demand generation is quite simply the ability to grow your business by creating a demand for your services and offerings, meeting that with whatever the client needs, and successfully retaining the client over the long term. So some examples of demand generation are really thoughtfully produced digital ads. I'm not talking about boosting a post on Facebook or putting out an Instagram and sponsoring it. I'm referencing a cohesive, comprehensive way to grow your business by understanding who is interested, where are they, offering them exactly what they need to try the business, perhaps as an introductory offer, and then retaining those clients, continuing them on in some sort of subscription or membership. Now, this is important whether you're a business that's based completely virtually, entirely in person, or some hybrid of the two. What we're finding is that clients want to utilize your services exactly the way that they desire, meaning gone are the days of only unlimited being an option. And now the best practice is to offer varying levels and options to enjoy your services, take part of your offerings, buy your products, but also meet the client's needs without having them under or overpay or under or overutilize. So creating demand means you have to understand how that client wants to utilize your services. And that's where getting to know your lifetime client value and the needs of your current market come in. So as we go deeper in this, understanding how to grow will help you to determine which path you choose to take for your business. So a couple things that I always recommend. Number one is to survey your clientele. Don't make assumptions for them. Don't think through what feels right. Take the time to get to know what do they discern and care about when they're choosing a business like yours. Where are they currently stuck? That's probably the most important question that you want to know about the client that you want to acquire. And lastly, what is the price they're willing to pay for the services that you're trying to offer? There is a concept, an economic principle called price elasticity. And so essentially, to make it simple, what that means is there is a basement and a ceiling for what clients are willing to pay for services. The price is sometimes inelastic and sometimes it's elastic, meaning there are times where clients are willing to pay in a more flexible fashion, and there are times where there is a clear price point that you need to be in order to be successful and to grow. A lot of this hinges on understanding your target market, which is where the survey comes in, but don't let it stop there. Next is to do a market analysis. Maybe look at the data that's within your business, understand the age, understand the working demographic, understand the client who is ideal for the business, meaning who you're trying to acquire and keep, and who's target, meaning who's already in the doors. Those are two different opportunities, right? The ideal client is the client that's external, that you're dying to have come into your business. But the internal client is that client that's target because they're there. There's an opportunity to maybe upsell them, downsell them, keep and retain them in the business, of course, but giving them an option that helps them to become a client that's truly there for the long term. So hang with me now. I know at this point you may be thinking, how on earth am I going to do all this with a single studio or tiny little footprint in my local market? And the answer is, I think it's time to realize where you're uniquely excellent, right? That product market fit for the client and the distinction for you from your competitors is exactly what you need to determine which avenue or path is best for you. Once you do, you may realize that there's so much more that you can offer clients than just classes and memberships. This is an area I see growing more and more. Understanding your target client's needs and creating a stickiness between you and them, right, as the business, allows you to maybe open up more opportunity. It may show you that there are things that you can provide right now that your target client internally would patron and improve your revenue, just like that. So I think it's important to understand the difference between adding revenue in areas that make sense and adding revenue that honestly adds more cost and doesn't exactly grow the business in the way that you desire. This is where the heart comes in. So making a decision based on how you feel, what you desire, and frankly, where you want to grow is incredibly important. Once you do, it's all about return on investment. I recommend you measure, track, monitor every aspect of the business, particularly from a sales and marketing perspective, but also everything from payroll to your energy costs for subscriptions and for executing on services and everything in between. I think it's time to treat the business like a business and not like a hobby. And when you do, I believe you'll be so impressed with the outcome, both in your bottom line and also with how you feel about the future. So a few final thoughts about improving your profitability. Number one is to have a profit mindset. I'm not one to talk often about thinking and growing rich, but I do believe that there's a money mindset that many of us are lacking that's keeping us from our next big milestone. Most of the time, it's a fear to charge what we're worth, to understand where we're different and where we're better, and honestly, a fear that we're not different or better. And that's where your money mindset comes in. I always say that many of us that did not grow up around a healthy view of money, it will take a while to understand what this looks like for you. But here's an easy place to start. You can establish and monitor the right KPIs, the key performing indicators of the business. So that's everything from looking at first-time visitors, looking at new members or ongoing memberships to understand where is the business headed and what are the trends, what are the aspects of the business that you can determine from the data that you have. Or how about just basic financial literacy, right? Understanding basic accounting, revenue, expenses, cash flow, all the key elements of success as if you were looking at a business on Wall Street, right? When they provide earnings and reports to their constituents and the people that invest in them, they're very serious about what their numbers are, and you can be too. You can better educate and learn around basic financial principles just to help yourself to get more comfortable in a money mindset that makes sense, but also to determine where do you really feel driven and led in the business financially, and where are you stuck? Where do you feel like there's more that needs to be done, that there's investment or cost that's needed that maybe right now you don't have the resources for. It's essential that you understand this so that you can make changes that affect your long term, even if in the short term you feel quite stuck with where you're at. Next is to make cash flow the priority, right? I've talked about profit many times already, but let me say it again. The key here is not just to pay enough to break even every month, it's to have money coming in recurring every single month that exceeds your expenses, providing you profit in your pocketbook. Yes, my favorite. And cash flow so the business is prepared for the long term, prepared for any short-term difficulties, and is actually a business and not a hobby, providing you and your family a good lifestyle. I think that's just as important as your technical skills and meeting your community's needs. I really do. And finally, I really want to encourage you to vigorously eliminate the profit drainers in your business. At this point, you may realize what they are. It may take a little bit more research and analysis to figure them out, but either way, I would love to encourage you to have a commitment to get rid of the things that aren't revenue producing, that aren't helping you to tangibly reach the goals that you have. And I think you may find that's going to free up some resources for you to do what's really needed to invest in the business, have resources to be advised, to get education, to put into practice the things that you need, and to execute on more established ongoing sales and marketing. I think customer retention is one area of opportunity that no matter what stage of business that you're at, you can improve. You see, I think what we're learning is that the world that we are operating right now and the world that we're operating for the foreseeable future is really one that is about deeper connection and long-term relationship. When we think about retention, we need to think about retention in two separate ways. Now, we've talked a lot about acquiring new customers, and that's one aspect of retention. Retaining a client from that first-time visit or from that trial offer is essential for you to grow your business. However, it's just as important for you to nurture your current tribe, right? Your ongoing members, your current subscribers. And that is also an aspect of retention that could use your attention. I actually believe both are equally important for different reasons. It's important to have new clients coming into the business. In fact, I believe that new clients are the essential KPI of every business, right? It is the lifeblood of your business, whether or not you have marketing that is successful in bringing in new clients at a level of which that you can not only nurture the relationship, convert them into an ongoing payment, and also to help them improve their health or wellness or whatever it is that you offer. So that being said, acquiring new clients is essential for your business to not only stabilize, but to grow. But equally as important is keeping those clients for the long term. You see, the lifetime client value is essential for you as a business owner, but it's also important for the client. If you think about it, in our industry especially, there's a lot of concern about staying consistent, having accountability, needing a place that they can ongoingly attend and improve within. And this is where I believe there's a win-win for retention. It's not just about you and the business and retaining more revenue over time. It's also about giving clients what they need to finally be consistent in their physical life, in their emotional life, Maybe for them, it's finding a crew of people that they look forward to seeing on a regular basis, improves their mental health all at the same time. All of those can be true, and you can make more money. That to me is the ultimate win-win. So when we consider areas to improve your client retention, there are several that I want to recommend to you today. Number one is to look at your existing clients and consider a couple of things. Number one, do you have a suitable upsell or downsell for them when they are looking for a different option in your business? That may mean that clients that are leaving may not leave if you have an option that suits their needs, whether it's to do more or to do less. It's essential that we get this part right because in bigger business, there's typically many more options, right? Variety and breadth is usually their business model, where ours is depth and stickiness. So I think there's a great collaboration there for you to understand how you can be a little bit more flexible and broad for your existing clients' needs. This helps you to keep that client in the business longer and honestly helps them to stay sticky to your business. This is an area that I always say it's time to get back to the business of being boutique. We have to make the time for this level of interest for the clients. It can't just be that as soon as we sell them a membership or a subscription, we essentially assume that that client is ours forever. In fact, I want you to think about this and experience this for yourself. Look up something that's related to your business on the internet, any aspect of the internet, and you will see that there is someone buying for your client's business if it's not you on a regular basis. So my encouragement there is to take a pulse on your community regularly. Don't just give, but ask. Ask so that you can figure out areas to grow, areas to add to the business, maybe things that you're doing that aren't essentially impactful to the client's experience. These are areas that we can get right a lot faster and a lot simpler than acquiring new clients and starting new locations, right? So I want to encourage you to start small with the client base that you have. Focus on retaining them. And I think you'll find there's plenty of success to be had in your business right now. Now, on the other side of things with new clients, there's a whole other conversion point, right? It's not just about their first visit, converting them into a long-term, membership or subscription, but it's really that first visit to the next visit that's essential. We make an assumption that most clients try our services and automatically become part of our tribe, but that's not true in real life for anything, and it's certainly not true for fitness and wellness. It typically happens where clients need to get a feel for your services a little bit more than once or twice. My magic number is typically 3 to 4 times. By the time a client has patroned your business 3 or 4 times in a specific time frame, I think what happens is they understand what you bring to the table, and then they have exactly what they need to make a buying decision. Now listen, sometimes that decision is that it's not a good fit. So we have to understand where we're lacking there. But also when it is a good fit, we want to determine what was it that made that client make the decision to come back and then come back again. Oftentimes we're so busy saying that we're all about community that we don't make the time to welcome new people into the community. So we're always looking at our existing clients and celebrating their birthdays and their milestones and going deeper in those relationships. But that new client, after the first visit, it tends to be a little bit lackluster. They tend to report back that they felt like if they were even welcomed in that first time experience, every experience after that seemed to be either not super genuine or not really focused on their needs and how it relates to the community. It was more about being a part of like a group or a clique that seemed to know each other and operate well without them. So I really caution you, it truly has to be a balanced approach. We have to both welcome in new clients and nurture our current community and see the benefit when we do those things in concert and in harmony. That means that there may be a different process needed for welcoming new clients and understanding their needs, helping them to get stickier faster than there is for existing clients to retain them, to understand maybe where their next needs are, future tense. Perhaps they need a service that you have yet to bring into the business to stay consistent. Perhaps they need more emotional and encouragement and accountability support, and that's something you can do with your current staff. This is where I believe that giving them a group workout or offering classes and memberships may not be enough anymore. As you look ahead, as you look to the future of your business, I want to encourage you to be innovative with what you offer. as much as clients care about the class experience and enjoy the membership benefits. I think the studio of the future is going to be much more collaborative, relational, but also like experiential than it is even now. And I want to encourage you to think that through, even now and especially now. So I want to leave you with some tactics and some ideas of how you can put this all together. Number one is to understand really the tools at your fingertips. So you have tons of data more than likely within your client management system or software. I recommend you start there to determine trends, to track changes, and honestly to measure return on investment on everything that you do, including staff, including classes, and including changes to your sales and marketing. As it relates to sales and marketing, I really recommend you reconsider how you invest both in social, in ads, and in how you represent your business digitally. I'm often seeing now that we're recreating websites and refreshing landing pages and helping our clients to, I think, get the best out of the virtual and digital experience, even if they're only offering in-person services, frankly, because the client needs of the now are looking at better innovation, improved technology, and a much more systematized way of running your business. They don't want to call, they don't want to submit a contact form that you never answer, and they don't want to show up to your business without knowing what to expect. So I see a lot of opportunity to digitally enhance the business's home, whether that's through your website, like I said, social, or just good copywriting, like having the right verbiage on your digital presence, updating your listings and how clients find you. These are areas that seem really soft, but we're seeing tremendous results right now just from doing that. So as you think about investing in the business, there are so many ways to waste. Let me be clear on how you can make sure this is beneficial for you. Number one is probably to utilize an expert. I believe that many of you want the very best for your business and you often don't know where to start. It's difficult to determine the first step and the next step and the step after that without perhaps a more zoomed out view of what it's like to be successful or more successful. So this is where utilizing industry best practices, understanding what really successful businesses do versus the ones that just look successful can be really helpful to you. And if that's something you're interested in, I'd be happy to sit with you and do a complimentary business analysis, really understand the stuck points that you're in, the business needs that you have, and present to you a completely complimentary plan on how you can start putting these things into practice. I also want to recommend that you lean into the business a little bit more, right? Have more of a hands-on, how can I improve and change and optimize view of your business versus this is what we have to react instead of be proactive to what the world and what the market and what our culture is telling us. I think this is an area that you can absolutely control, and I want to encourage you in that. The best, the brightest, and the most profitable, they're leaned in and proactive. We are anticipating trends for their business instead of reacting to what's happened. And I want to encourage you there today. I believe that your best success story is just around the corner, and I'd be thrilled if I can help in any way. See you soon.